If you're not using passive voice, your English might sound too simple. In IELTS or any other language proficiency test, whether you plan to take it soon or far in the future, using passive structures can definitely help you sound more advanced and it will boost your score. Today, I'm sharing a golden tip with you that helps you master any grammar rule quickly and easily. I always fill my videos with useful tips, but this one is especially powerful for learning grammar. I will also explain how to incorporate passive voice in any exam or in your business interview. Stay till the end to take a quick and easy quiz with me. This is the best way to log today's lesson into your brain. So without further ado, let's get started. Golden tip. When learning grammar, don't start with a structure. Because what's the point of knowing how to form a structure when you don't know when to use it? That's right. First, focus on its usage, its purpose. When and in what situations am I going to use this grammar? For example, if you just memorize am, is, are plus verb plus ing, it won't mean much. But if you first learn that we use it for actions happening right now, like I'm talking to you, then the structure becomes much easier to understand. Let's apply this to today's lesson. When learning about active and passive voice and their differences, we'll often come across a short, sometimes even complicated explanation. And it's not bad or wrong, it's just that I think it's not enough. The difference between active and passive voice is all about who's doing the action and who's receiving it. In active voice, the subject is the one doing the action. The teacher explains the lesson. Here, the teacher is the one doing the explaining. And in passive voice, the subject is receiving the action. The lesson is explained by the teacher. In this case, the focus is on the lesson, not on the teacher. The most common explanation we hear usually goes something along these lines, which is fine, but based on my experience, it's not enough. This approach only leaves passive voice at the back of our minds, and we won't be able to use it as much as we should in speaking or writing. Now let's explain where to use passive voice in a much more detailed way through many examples covering all sorts of situations in which it could be used, both formal and informal. Shall we? When the doer is unknown or unimportant. Sometimes we don't know who did something, or it just doesn't matter. Passive voice keeps the focus on the action. A valuable painting was stolen last night. A new policy was introduced in the company. And for writing, a breakthrough in cancer research was announced yesterday. Number two, when the action matters most. In academic writing, news, reports, passive voice is used when the event is more important than the person behind it. The ancient ruins were discovered last year. A new shopping mall was built downtown. And in scientific or academic writings, a cure for the disease has been developed. Number three, for a formal and professional tone. Passive voice sounds polished and neutral, making it ideal for business emails, reports, and academic writings. An investigation has been launched. A major update was introduced last week. Several improvements have been made to the project. Number four, to be polite or avoid blame. Passive voice softens bad news and it avoids blaming people directly, like pointing finger at people. Oh, why'd you do that? It was your fault. You shouldn't have done it. Instead of saying you made mistakes, we say some mistakes were made. The report was submitted late, but it has been resolved. Your application was not approved due to missing documents. Number five, to emphasize the important part. We often put key information at the end, and passive voice helps do this more naturally. Instead of saying they awarded the Nobel Prize to Dr. Smith, we say the Nobel Prize was awarded to Dr. Smith. Or instead of saying my boss gave me a promotion, we say I was given a promotion by my boss. Number 6, to keep the same subject. When telling a story or giving details, passive voice keeps the focus on one subject. She waited for hours, then she was seen by a doctor and given medicine. The product was tested, then released after final approval. Number 7, to keep long phrases at the end. English sounds smoother when shorter phrases come first and the longer ones go last. The less natural version of the sentence would be that our manager wants to reorganize the company really annoys me. And a better version would be, I am really annoyed that our manager wants to reorganize the company. Less natural, that Maria insists on planning everything frustrates the team. And a better one, the team is frustrated by Maria insisting on planning everything. Number 8, variety or sophistication in language proficiency tests. When preparing for any language proficiency test like IELTS or TOEFL, using one simple active voice can negatively impact your score. This is because it limits your grammar range and accuracy, which is an important aspect of the test. To sound more advanced, you're going to need to use a variety of sentence structures, including passive. For example, in IELTS Task 1, when describing reports or processes, passive voice plays a crucial role. Instead of saying the team collected the data, it sounds more natural and professional to say the data was collected. This helps create a more polished, objective tone. In Task 2 and Speaking Part 3, using passive voice can also elevate the formality of your arguments, making them sound more objective. For instance, instead of saying people should reduce pollution, we can say pollution should be reduced. In speaking, you could say many products are made in China. This is a more formal, neutral way of discussing a global issue. It helps you avoid overly simplistic sentences or structures and adds depth to your answers. Number 9, business English and interviews. In a business interview where professionalism and formality are key, passive voice can be a powerful tool. If an interviewer asks, can you describe a project you managed successfully? You could respond with, a new marketing strategy was developed last year and it was implemented across all our branches. The campaign was monitored regularly and adjustments were made based on customer feedback. Using passive voice in this context focuses on the actions and the processes rather than the person behind them, which is ideal for a business setting. It makes your response sound more objective and highlights the end result and the decision made, not the personal involvement. These were almost all the usages of passive voice. Now it's time for a quick, easy quiz to lock in everything we'll learn today. Let's go. Number 1, which sentence correctly uses passive voice for an unknown doer? A, someone stole my phone. B, my phone was stolen. C, I don't know who stole my phone. And the correct answer is B, my phone was stolen. Number 2, in which sentence does passive voice help focus on the action? A, scientists developed a new medicine. B, a new medicine has been developed. C, the scientists worked for years on this medicine. And the correct answer is B, a new medicine has been developed. Number 3, which passive sentence sounds more formal? A, they gave me a promotion. B, I got a promotion. C, a promotion was given to me. And the correct answer is C. A promotion was given to me. Number 4. Which sentence politely avoids blame? A. You sent the wrong email. B. The wrong email was sent. C. It's your fault the email was wrong. And the correct answer is B. The wrong email was sent. Number 5. In which sentence is passive voice used to put the important information at the end? A. Lisa painted this picture. B. This picture was painted by Lisa. C. Lisa did a great job painting. The correct answer is B. This picture was painted by Lisa. Now you know when and why to use passive voice. Instead of just memorizing a bunch of rules, you focus on how it improves your speaking, your writing, and your fluency in general. In my next video, I will be explaining the structure of passive voice in all the tenses with examples and a quick quiz in the end. So stay tuned.